So I'm Lynn Masterton, I'm the Director of Business Engagement at Hugh Baird College.
Hi, I'm Sarah, I'm one of the Business Development Advisors of the college.
The government have announced that the country is in recession, and we would like to work with employers to get their businesses up and running, and with local people to get them back into employment. The government have announced a series of packages that are designed to support employers, and we were just going to talk through a few of them that we can help to support you with. Okay, Sarah, I'll let you speak about the first one.
So I'm going to go over the apprenticeship route and what support has been put in place for employers when they're taking on an apprentice. So at the college, we offer a wide range of apprenticeships: construction, hair and beauty, business and higher level management courses as well. You can check the college's website for the full offer. When you're taking on an apprentice, it can be really beneficial for your company. The apprentice would attend college 1 day a week, and then the further 4 days are spent in the workplace. This allows the student to acquire relevant skills that are specific to the needs of your business. The current national minimum wage for apprentices is £4.15. Now, depending on their age, that can be paid for the duration of the course, which I'm sure you'll agree is highly competitive in the midst of a recession. You may have planned to take on an apprentice, but due to the pandemic, you're now questioning whether that will be financially viable. So I'm just going to tell you what the government have put in place to support you and enable you to take on an apprentice. So they've set aside £2 million to support employers during the recovery from COVID. So what's available to you? If you take on a 16 to 18-year-old, there's £3,000 available. For 19 to 24-year-olds, it's £2,000, and for over 25s, it's £1,500. A common misconception is that apprentices have to be young people. They don't. You can employ an older person, somebody who may have found that during these times they're now out of work, but may have acquired work skills previously, and they might be wanting to retrain to help them obtain employment in the future. There is other support available as well for those employers who work in the construction sector. The college work quite closely with CITB. Now, they have further grants available that you will be able to apply for on top of the government support. If you require any further information on these grants, then if you'd like to contact us through the addresses or the website that's shown on the screen. If after listening to what I've said, what's available, you still don't feel that you can commit to taking on an apprentice at this time, there are other options available to you that would maybe you take somebody on and look at an apprenticeship in the future. So I'm going to pass you over to Lynn, who's going to discuss these options with you.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. So another alternative that you could try is a traineeship. So a traineeship works in a similar way to an apprenticeship. But what happens is that the young person comes out to your business for the whole of the week. You don't pay them, but what you do provide them with is a high quality work placement opportunity, and you enable that person to gain skills while they're with you. And in return, you have another person within your workplace. So you've got them for 4 days a week and they're gaining skills. Now, traineeships can last from 6 weeks to 6 months. And what the college does is it tailors those traineeships for the skills that you want. So, for example, if we have the trainee with us for 2 weeks before they even come to you. So you may well say to us, if you're in the care sector, we would like them to have moving and handling and infection prevention and control. So we'll make sure they've got that before they come to you. If you're in construction, you might want them to be able to use a handrail, and you might want them to have a CSCS card. And if it's possible, we'll make sure that we can get that before they come to you, and you will interview the people that you take and decide on them. So employers are saying to us, and we deal with a lot of employers, well, actually, I could do with somebody actually within my business. I don't know how the business is going to go in these times. I don't know how many people will be in, whether there'll be a lot or very few. And I can't afford just to have that investment of somebody standing there and not utilise them, or there may not be funds available. Well, you could actually put somebody onto a traineeship and they could progress onto an apprenticeship. Or failing that, if you didn't want them to be on a traineeship, you could then move them into one of the other incentives that I'm going to mention to you shortly. The government will pay you £1,000 for every person that you put onto a traineeship within the workplace. And what that does is it really helps a young person to get the skills that will help them move into employment. And if that's with you, that's fantastic. But if also it could be with somebody else. There are other incentives available for 19 plus, and they run in a similar way to the traineeship. So they're not just restricted, but the incentive for traineeships is for £1,000 is restricted to young people aged 16 to 24. So another way we could help to support you is work experience. Now, we do have students within the college who will be studying in particular areas, who would absolutely welcome the chance to come out and put what they're learning in college to life. And for you, you may not need somebody for 4 days a week. You might just need somebody for 2 or 3 hours a week. You might need somebody for a day a week. You might only need them for a month. You might need them for 6 months. We can facilitate that, and that may support you to get something in place. So the most recently talked about incentive is the Kickstart programme that's been introduced by the government. And we know that with the result of furloughing and people losing their jobs, that the impact on unemployment is going to be huge. Now, the first announcement was that the Kickstart programme would run, and what we've since been told is that Kickstart is going to run, and it's going to be aimed at people aged 16 to 24 who are on universal credit at the moment. But we are constantly in communication with Job Centre Plus, and we work with Job Centre Plus. And the recent communication we're having is that is actually going to be opened up. Now, the initial programme is going to be a process where employers have to apply to get this funding. Now, the funding, it's not clear how it's going to happen, but the basis of it is that if you employ somebody aged 16 to 24, the government will pay their wages plus the national insurance contribution. So that really enables you to have somebody in your workplace in these times where you don't know if you can commit to employing somebody permanently, and it gives somebody a high quality work placement to enable them to gain skills, again, to progress, if possible, to employment with you, but if not, to employment somewhere else. And maybe gain a little bit of skills and confidence, because some people do have those skills, but they're not really great at interviews, so it'll just develop those skills as well. There's lots of people who, across all of those areas that may have skills, as Sarah's just said, who could be partway through an apprenticeship. They could have worked in customer service and could easily, within a restaurant, and they could easily transfer to customer service within a call centre, same utilising IT. There's lots of people with those skills. And what you're going to be asked to do as an employer is to apply if you want people on those Kickstart programs, and Job Centre Plus will identify people that are eligible, and there'll be a process for applying, a process to check that those jobs are suitable and of a good quality. So we can help you complete that paperwork, and we can help you at least have that option. So these programs that we're offering now, you could, for example, combine them. So you could say, well, I don't know if I want an apprenticeship, but just to help my business through so I see how it's going, what I'll do is I might take somebody on a traineeship for 6 weeks to 6 months. I might then, if that person's eligible, because they have to be unemployed and eligible for the Kickstart programme, they could transition then onto a Kickstart programme for 6 months where the government will pay their wages up to 25 hours at the minimum wage. And you can top that up should you wish to, but if you don't, you can still have them for 25 hours. And at the end, Job Centre Plus will be in touch with that person all of the time. And we're hearing that the ages will be opened up, as well as the opportunities for the category of unemployment. And then you may well sit down at the end and say, well, actually, I think I'm now in a position to take that person on, and you could take them on as an apprentice. We do always work with employers to tailor the programmes, and we're aiming to work with Job Centre Plus to make sure that we do have facility to offer very short training programmes, just of maybe 2 weeks, so that we can work with them to make sure that before you offer them an interview, that they have got some skills, and we know, for example, that they're going to turn up every day to work and that they're really interested in what they want to do. So that's a combination of the incentives that you can be offered that may well just be what you need to help your business get back up and running. We do, just as a general add-on from the college, we do offer, if you're an employer who maybe you're not very familiar with remote working, or you may need a little bit of extra training, we do offer free online courses, so you might want to check those out for you or any member of your staff. That will help you. So I think that covers all that we wanted to say this afternoon. But just to summarise, so the funding that's available to you, so you can get funding for apprenticeships for 16 to 18, £3,000. You can get funding for 19 to 24, 16 to 18, 3,000, 19 to 24, 2,000, and 25 plus 1,500. So I would urge you to think about whether you could give somebody a place within your business and really support them at that minimum wage as well. And it would help your business get up and running. You've got the traineeship programme with a £1,000 incentive. You have also got the Kickstart programme, where it's 25 hours a week, where the government will pay the wages of the person placed within your workplace. If you did think that you wanted somebody on the Kickstart programme, the first people are going to be employed in that round about November, but you will need to keep your eye out for the process where you have to apply to get people within your workplace. And if there's anything else that we can do to work with you, you would just let us know, and we'll see what we can do to help in any circumstances. So I don't know if anybody would. That's all I wanted to say about the incentives available, and so I'd just like to ask if anybody's got any questions. Please feel free to put them up in the live chat now.
So we've had a question from Lorna, who's asked, will the training for apprentices be continuing on campus from September? Yes, it will. The college have been busy over the summer making sure that all classrooms and workshops are socially distanced. There's going to be a maximum number allowed in each classroom. Where that can't be achieved, we will be offering remote, so assessors and students will have access to remote learning as well.
Another one there for apprenticeships. So it's just any specific requirements to gain access to the new funding for apprentices. I'll let you answer, Sarah, go on.
So the government have been quite vague on this. We do know that the online applications are opening up on the 1st of September, so the employer would have to apply for them themselves, and it's for any apprentices that are employed from the 1st of August to the 1st of January. At this moment in time, we haven't had any eligibility criteria, but I'm assuming that as long as you take on employ an apprentice through the correct procedure, you will be eligible for the amount determined with the age of the apprentice.
Yeah, and they have said that it does have to be a new job. It can't be one that's already existing, so it does have to be one that's been created. But yeah, details are coming all the time, aren't they?
We've had a question from Katie. Is there a time limit on the new apprenticeship incentive grant? So with the 16 to 18-year-olds, £1,000 of that 3,000 is the incentive grant that was already in place. So that's always been available, a government grant for taking on a young person. Like I've just said, with regards to the new COVID support, it will be for new apprentices employed from the 1st of August to the 1st of January 2021. So we've had another question that someone has set up a new company and has just one employee, the business is growing, can I recruit an apprentice? Yes, you can. You don't have to be any particular size employer. You can be a sole trader and have one employee as your apprentice, as long as that apprentice is meeting the criteria for the apprenticeship, then yeah, that's fine. But if you wanted any more information, if you contact us through the inquiries email, and someone will get back to you and give you more information.
We're hearing that there will, somebody's asking a question about, I'm sure you can see it on screen, about students that need additional support. We're not, I don't know what in placement, if you're talking about, may well be, if it's the Kickstart programme, we've not really heard very much about that. There is talk about some funding to help cover the Kickstart funding. There is talk about covering additional needs, so it's going to cover the national insurance and the gross wage, but also if there's something needed, like say tools to go into a construction site, maybe a uniform. So I would imagine that there may well be some support for somebody that has additional support needs, but they haven't released the full details. It's not out yet. So we'd have to watch and see, because in the past there has been support offered, for example, for people to provide a little bit of mentoring. So we just have to keep watching, because it's being updated and it keeps changing on a daily basis. So we'll keep an eye on that. If you wanted to send us your details in, then as soon as we get any information on that, and we'll keep lobbying for it, then we could let you know. Okay. Well, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. I just feel that we've got a real opportunity to help support some very talented young people back into work, and in the same way support our employers to get their businesses back up and running. If there's anything at all that we can do to support you, please do contact us through the details that are on the screen. Thanks very much.
Thank you.